Thanks, Vanessa. Now, if you've ever wondered what it takes to produce visual effects and animation for some of Hollywood's biggest movies, you don't have to look much further than right here in the capital. Escape Studios in Shepherd's Bush is behind some of the world's best talent who've worked on films including Star Wars, The Force Awakens and The Martian. In fact, their graduates are up for 5 of the 6 films nominated in the visual effects categories at this year's BAFTAs and Oscars. And Alex William and Guy Penwell from Escape Studios join me now. Thank you so much for joining us this lunchtime. Alex, I had no idea that Brits, Londoners even, are behind some of the visual effects and the animation of some of Hollywood's biggest films.
Yeah, we're very lucky. We have a thriving industry here in London. There's a lot going on. Lots of domestic production as well, but also lots of films coming from America and doing their work here, both in live action and in animation.
So what is that? Why are people, you know, Hollywood, I said, big studios coming down to London and using the graduates from your training?
Yeah. We do. We offer a lot of training at Escape Studios for people working in the industry. But I think it's a mixture of real talent being here in London. Also, we do have to give a nod to the government for the tax credits, which have really helped in recent years to boost production. But it's a mixture of talent and a nice environment. And also, you know, if you're a Hollywood executive, wouldn't you want to come and make a film in London?
Yeah, I suppose, and I guess, Guy, you're very happy about that. You're one of the graduates, the alumni of Escape Studios. I mean, tell us your story. How did you get into this in the first place?
I went on a course back in 2009. And before that, I think Escape only had sort of full-time, very intense courses that lasted around 3 months. For me, it wasn't viable because I had a full-time job. And then suddenly I started doing part-time courses in the evening, which was perfect for me. I could do my full-time job and study in the evenings.
What were you doing before you got into
I was providing technical support in academia. I had a bit of a computing science background, but I knew I sort of had a creative flair, and I knew I wanted to get into visual effects.
And why did you choose Escape Studios? Why did you think that this is actually somewhere where you could actually, not just at the studios, but obviously in London, this is somewhere where you could actually nurture and actually have a really good career in something like this?
Getting into the industry is difficult. You need to know something about it, obviously, to get into it. And there weren't that many sort of university courses around, and Escape Studios were a great example of a way of getting into the industry, to learn about what you need to know in the pipeline, what can be expected of you when you actually start working. And
I guess you could say you didn't really make any mistakes changing a career, because your career's been amazing. You've worked on Ant-Man, you've also worked on Ex Mechanica, which is up for a BAFTA tomorrow. It's incredible.
It's been fantastic. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster. Getting into the industry isn't easy, but you sort of muscle your way in and speak to the right people. Sometimes it's a little bit of luck, being there at the right time, speaking to the right people.
And I guess you could say Alex is one of those right people. I mean, you're an animator, and your history in itself is phenomenal work. So I can just name but a few, but Who Framed Roger Rabbit, The Lion King, and they were all groundbreaking films in animation. Obviously, with Roger Rabbit being animation with live action, a big live action film, working with Robert Zemeckis, and with The Lion King. I remember watching a documentary about that on Disney, and talking about how difficult it was to reimagine a lion.
Yes, technically it was difficult. Yeah, totally. I mean, that was made in Los Angeles, but Roger Rabbit was actually made right here in London. It was made in Camden Town, and that, I think, did win the BAFTA for Best Animated Film, or Best Visual Effects, I think, at the time. But yes, it was difficult doing the lions. I mean, there's an awful lot of live-action reference you have to follow when you're trying to bring animals to life. You're obviously trying to make it as realistic as possible. And actually, the visual effects work that's done here in London, a lot of it is very technically based. So you're really you're bringing animals and creatures to life. You're trying to make them look completely real, photoreal, and so that the audience can't tell the difference between what's real and what's fake. And half the time we can't. Yeah, I can't.
It's good.
When I look at the shots, I have no idea.
Well, that's the whole idea.
Unless you're looking at people's reels, even student reels now, and unless the student tells you what's real and what's fake, half the time you've got no idea. Right. And that's if it's done really well, which it should be. And
very quickly, you've got a visual effects festival coming up. Hopefully you could help other people like Guy who wants to venture into this industry.
Yeah, Visual Effects Festival in February, end of February. Yeah, so Escape Studios is hosting that, and we've got people coming to talk from industry. We've got Double Negative, we've got MPC, Frame Store, ILM, I believe, coming to talk about their latest stuff, so that should be really cool.
Oh, I can't believe what we're doing. It's fantastic.
Yeah, London's a real hub for this stuff. It's doing really well. We're on fire.
Thank you both so much for joining us this afternoon. Very excited, Alex. I love that.